It's gonna take a little more than 80 days to travel around the world, but we know you'll hear about it, cause we are three favorite girls exploring the globe. And wherever life takes us, wherever life takes us.
Hello, this is Wherever Life Takes Us. If this is your first time listening, I'm Gina.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Liz.
And today we're going to be talking about Spain. So I went to Spain for my first time in 2019. 2019, I had a very busy summer. I went to France, Japan, and Spain. Don't know
for you.
Don't know where I got all that money.
Jesus Christ. Must be nice.
My job hated me, but I was just like, fuck it, I'm doing it. So I planned a trip to Spain through a travel company because I wanted to see absolutely everything I could, and because I wasn't as much as a confident traveler as I am now. Now I feel like I could have definitely done that on my own, but
sometimes a travel group is just nice. You don't have to think about it. You just gotta kind of lay back and let them take you.
Exactly.
It's nice like that sometimes.
No, it was lovely. Like, they booked all of our hotels for us. They planned our dinners together. And it was like a huge group with also adults. Like, it was families and solo travelers. So it was just kind of nice to mingle with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, we made a lot of friends. So first we flew from New York to Madrid, which is the capital of Spain. And we got there in like the evening. So we went to the hotel, we showered, then we just walked around the city a little bit to get our grip of the city. We met up with our tour guide at a restaurant like down the road, and we drank a lot of wine, met everybody, icebreakers, and we had an early night because the next day we were going to do a full tour of Madrid. So the next day, full tour of Madrid, there was a tour bus that took us into the heart of the city. It's called Puerta del Sol Plaza, which is like all the shops surrounding it. It's this huge plaza. There are bars everywhere, and pretty much you could get anywhere into the city. So there's a huge park down the road, and surprisingly, there was a large homeless population, like very large.
You see that in a lot of big cities, though.
Yeah, like it was like a community of homeless people in the park.
I mean, you go to like
In
San
Milan.
Francisco.
I mean,
Really?
in Milan, when I went to Milan, that was what it was.
I don't think I've ever seen that, so I was like a little surprised.
Really?
Just because it was like they made like tents and houses and everything. It was a whole community.
Oh my goodness.
A little thrown off. Yeah, and we felt bad. We were giving them money. So
Yeah.
but we were able to see the Royal Palace while we were there, and to go to the Prado Museum, which we went to a lot of art museums. It was all guided tours. I know that's not Kelly's favorite thing to do when traveling.
It's not that I don't like art museums. It's just like when every day is a different art museum.
Yeah, this was kind of how this tour was, but it was also like we did a lot during the day and then went to a museum for a little bit.
It's also
so it was,
different
like,
when you're a guide. It's a guided art tour.
Yeah.
Like, I loved the art tours in Greece. I just didn't love them in Italy.
Yeah,
Like,
because you were on your own. And I had, like, the headpiece in, too.
Yeah.
We actually had, like, a real-life guide, but he was using a microphone, like, whispering into a microphone, and we had headpieces in. So that was cool, because, like,
that's what they
I
did
wasn't struggling to listen.
Yeah,
and
that's what they did in the Roman when I went to see the Colosseum.
Really?
In Rome.
Yeah, me too.
That's very cool. I like that kind of setup. And you could, like, plug in your own earphones.
Yeah.
Earpods, whatever. So the next day we went to Toledo, which is one of the oldest cities of Spain and a very romantic city. It's all cobblestone.
Ooh.
Has a very medieval feel.
Ooh.
It used to be the capital of
Ooh.
Spain. Yeah. So
Sounds like my type of place.
yeah, so Spain is known for having a lot of different religions. There's like a Jewish quarter of most cities, and then there's always a lot of churches and mosques. So we were able to see all of that. We went to the churches and synagogues, and really got a feel for the different cultures that were in Spain at one point, which is actually a whole big thing because in history, when, I forgot which king, but one of the kings of Spain actually enforced Catholicism.
A lot of countries did that back then.
To be the only religion practiced in Spain.
Whether it was that or Protestantism or whatever.
Yeah, so you'll see a lot of like Jewish quarters that were like kind of turned into Catholicism, but they still have that like Jewish origin and feel to them. So it's kind of cool to see that. And we went to the oldest ice cream store, Gelateria, in Spain,
Oh, that's
in Toledo.
awesome.
And it was delicious. It was like the richest chocolate I could have ever asked for. We headed south to a different region of Spain. It's called Andalusia, which is my favorite. I ended up studying abroad in Andalusia. We went to Cordoba first, and we saw the Mezquita. So the Mezquita is a very large building. It was actually one of the largest mosques in the world, but then it was turned into a church when everything went through the changes. So it's like one of the biggest tourist attractions. People go and take pictures by
Wow.
like there are like these striped poles that everyone takes a picture of. I'll show you guys in the video.
So if you haven't checked out our YouTube page, now's the time.
Yes, because our YouTube videos are going to be chock full of videos and pictures, and you'll really be able to see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was amazing to see. It was huge. The ceilings were completely to the sky. And Cordoba was just like a very nice, quaint little town. Like it almost looked like Santorini. All the buildings were white. There were those like bright blue flower pots everywhere, and like just pops of color everywhere, bright pink and orange and red. There's a very famous street where it's just Calle de Flores, the street of flowers, and it's just lines of flowers on these white walls. So it's a nice contrast. Definitely recommend. Very touristy though too. Very hard to take a photo in like a very small, narrow road.
Oh my god.
So just make sure. I would recommend going like either like early in the morning or like later in the evening, I guess, just like times.
Before and after the real crowds of tourists and families come through, yeah.
Yeah, early in the morning is always the better option if you can. So then while we were in Andalusia, we went to Sevilla. So that's the birthplace of flamenco, which is one of my favorite styles of dancing. Have you ever seen like a flamenco video?
I watched a lot of, like dance movies and shows, so yeah, but like, just what's in like those type of things.
Yeah.
I really don't even know what the dance is.
I've been looking for like a flamenco show to go to in the city, in New York City. I would love to take you guys because it is so cool. Like I just love it. So flamenco is just like a really dramatic dance, but it's a performance. Like the woman who's dancing is singing too, kind of like in an opera kind of style. And it's in Spanish, but it tells a story always. Like this like heartbreaking like lover romance kind of thing. There's usually a man also accompanying her dancing and singing, and then a guitar player. And interestingly enough, they don't use a guitar pick. They grow out their thumbnail to strum the guitar because that's like their career.
That's what you do.
And that was like what I was paying attention to during the dance. I was like looking at this man's long ass thumbnail. And I was like, wow. But he was so good. I love the whole music and the dance of it. So while we were in Sevilla, we got to see a flamenco show.
Wow.
With like complimentary wine. They just kept filling us up. And we were right in front of the stage. So that was amazing. Most flamenco shows too, you're not allowed to take videos of. So unfortunately, I have no video of it because I would have loved to remember that and play it back.
I mean, I guess it's the same thing as if you like go to a Broadway play or something.
Exactly. Like it's respecting the art and just
ballet.
like you pay to go see it.
Yeah.
You can't like reproduce it online and stuff. But flamenco show, definitely one of the best parts of my trip.
Interesting.
And Sevilla also has a very fun nightlife, so definitely make it out there in the evening.
We're out there when we go to Spain.
Pop out. So after that, we headed to my favorite city, Granada, which, if you don't know already, is where I chose to study abroad. This is the Moorish influence town. So I mainly chose it because it has such great Arabic influence. I took Arabic in college and I'm just like really interested in the Middle East. So when I went to this town and you just see Arabic writing everywhere, there are people speaking it, they're selling authentic lanterns and spices. I was like, this is my city. So we went to the Alhambra, which is a huge palace looking over the whole city on a hill. For this tour, we drove up there. When I went with my study abroad group, I don't know why, but they made us hike it. So we hiked up a whole ass mountain and then went into the palace. We were like drenched in sweat. We were like shot, but we had a good time anyway.
That's what matters.
That does matter, but the hills in Granada,
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
I could, yeah.
take an Uber when you can.
That ass.
So then there's a really cool place in Granada. It's called the Mirador de San Nicolas, and that looks over the whole city and the Alhambra. So pretty much after the Alhambra tour, like the guided tour was over, the tour guide showed us some restaurants where you could go get tapas, which is really popular in the summer, especially. There's a lot of tourists there. And pretty much how tapa bars work is you go to any restaurant, you order just a drink, and they come out with a random snack. So it's completely randomized. You can't order what you want, but you can tell them, like, if you're allergic to something.
Oh.
So you're just like, oh, like, I can't have onions. You know, like,
Yeah.
just letting them know. But you can't be like, can I have a hamburger? Because they'll come out with sliders, and they'll charge you for it. So don't order it. Just order your drink and let it happen.
That's a good way for you to like try things too and branch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good way to get fed too,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
in general, and get a little drink sangria and some sliders. Why not? Which was a popular tapa in Granada.
Sliders.
Yeah, it was American. It's a lot of seafood too. I remember once they came out with like, I don't even know, it was a prawn pizza, and that prawn was looking
God.
back at me. I was just like, oh my god, I'm allergic to seafood. I ate it. I ate the eyes too. I don't want to talk about it, but I did it. So pretty much my tour guide just left us alone. She was like, oh, just like go explore. And then she was like, actually, do you guys want to go on a little adventure? Because she was living in Granada at the time. She was American, but like she had moved there because she loved it so much. And she took us through the Albaicin, which is a very hilly area, very windy roads, very easy to get lost in too. So I think that's why she let us. But we hiked up it, again, dripping sweats. I did go in August, so it was like the hottest and most humidest time. But we got to the top of the lookout, and it was amazing. There were like local women dancing flamenco up there.
Oh,
Just like all
gosh.
these men playing their guitars, singing, just like having a good time. A lot of the lookouts up there too, you just have a lot of kids chilling with their friends, drinking wine. It's just like a very chill vibe. And we were able to just like watch the sunsets. There were, like in Guatemala, the locals just coming around selling things.
Yeah.
We bought some stuff, you know. It was funny because like half of my group bought this painting with their name spelled in Arabic. The man was painting it right there. And they were all coming to me like, is this really how you say my name in Arabic? And like it was, you know, they didn't rip
Yeah,
him
no,
off.
absolutely.
But I just thought it was funny,
Yeah,
and it was just
that's
so
so
cool to be
cool.
like
Vulgar.
useful. Yeah, that would have been horrible. I would have been like,
That's like when you go and get like a tattoo in like Chinese and it ends up being some stupid thing. I think that had
Ariana
Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
she got like a tattoo and it said like, I don't know what it said,
I know.
like salad or something
Yeah.
on it, like something stupid.
Yeah, should
Oh
get it
my
covered.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but always fact check. Granada is just a magical city, and that's like one of the top places I want to bring you guys because I think you'll love it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It
Oh,
would be
yeah.
very fun. They also have very fun clubs. And yeah, the way that it works in Granada specifically was everyone ate pretty much just a big lunch. So it was like a couple of courses. You had your soup, salad, and protein, whether it be like fish or chicken or something like that. And then that was around 2 or 3 p.m. And then people just ate like a light dinner. So you would eat at like anywhere from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., like a little like potato salad, something not heavy. Because people in Spain go out extremely late, like stupid late. We would go out. My roommate, when I lived in Spain, was from Barcelona, and we told him we were going out at 11, and he laughed at us. He was like, "Are you crazy?"
That's what
He's like, "No
Annalie
one-"
told me about Milan and Italy.
They must be a European thing. They just go out super late. So
Like what time?
like 1 a.m.
like
they
1
go out,
a.m.
and
I
then they
mean-
stay out till 7 a.m.
That's kind of how my college life was. Like, we wouldn't get to the student until like 11:30, but that was just like the beginning of the real party was the after party at whoever's apartment. You know what I mean? And we went there late.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I remember one night I was like partying, dancing. I looked at the time, it was 6 a.m. I was like, oh my God, like, I'm not going to be up until 2 p.m. at this point, you know?
Oh my goodness.
But their nightlife is crazy. They have, like, the big confetti poppers, the balloons that come from the ceiling, every club that you go to. And they have clubs specifically for reggaeton. So that was very fun.
I'll be up in there.
Yes, reggaeton is it's a vibe. It's a vibe. So then after we left Granada for this tour, we were heading up to Barcelona for the end of our tour. After Granada, we started our way up to Barcelona for the end of our tour. And from Granada to Barcelona was about an 8-hour drive. So we decided to split it up a little. And they took us to Alicante, which is just a nice little beach town. So we got to go to the beach, go swimming. It was very hot. So going swimming was nice in that warm, crystal blue water. And right along the beach was just like a strip of bars. So I went and got my margarita. I got a nice lounge chair, and I was just chilling, straight chilling.
That sounds like a vibe.
Yeah, and then we went up to Valencia the same day, and we had dinner in Valencia, which is a very romantic town as well. I didn't get to see too much of it, but I know it's just a lot of, like, old churches and art. It was a nice, pit stop.
They always look at me when they say romantic city because they know that that's what I like.
It's Kelly's thing.
If we ever when we do a top 5 episode, you guys will notice that my top, 4 are all romance cities.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the other one would be.
But anyways, Valencia is home of the paella. So paella is a staple dish in Spain. It's pretty much, it could be a mix of anything, really. It has, like, a rice base. You could put seafood or chicken or pork. I always usually get seafood. This one came with seafood and chicken in Valencia.
In it?
It did. I have eaten escargot before, so.
I want to try escargot.
Really? Yeah, not my favorite thing. Just because I think about it too much, I'm like, I'm eating.
I also want to try, what's the, really, really expensive caviar? That's like larva eggs.
Yeah.
But I want to try it. It wouldn't be
texture.
so loved if it wasn't good. Like, if it was, slimy and salty and gross, people wouldn't love it the way they
But
do.
it's
I don't think people even love it that much. I think it's just,
so
bougie.
rare, yeah. So we're it's like truffles. Like, do truffles even taste good?
Truffle ravioli or truffle anything is fucking delicious. Did you not order a truffle dish when you went to Italy?
No.
You're bugging. Incorrect.
Not.
Eh.
But, I don't know, just truffle doesn't sound good.
Truffle is delicious. Truffle is delicious. Thank you.
There
Moving
you
on.
go. Okay.
Keep going.
I honestly don't know if I've ever had a truffle dish. That's wrong with quiet.
My heart!
I know, I feel like a fake Italian saying that, but I don't think I ever tried a truffle.
I had truffle ravioli. It's expensive. I had truffle ravioli when I was in Italy.
What the fuck even is truffle?
I had truffle. It's like a white sauce.
Oh.
I had truffle.
Doesn't it come from
gnocchi?
a mushroom-looking thing?
It's delicious. I don't know. It's white. It's delicious, though. I literally cry when I eat it. Like, water in my mouth. Like, I'm in love with truffle. It's very hard to get, and it's very expensive. Like, I was spending, $36 a plate as I was ordering this truffle.
Oh my. But yeah, paella, just be wary of, what you're ordering, because they make so many different variations. I think someone got a black paella, just because, they were like, what's black paella? It's squid ink all over the paella. So just be careful if you don't like seafood and stuff. It's very seafood based too.
What does squid ink even taste like?
Don't know. Didn't try it. It just looks
scary.
watery, kind of. But the whole dish was just covered in black. Squid ink.
Squid ink? Mom, I think I ate.
That's
Yes!
what I think about, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, keep going.
Think about that on your food.
Oh, hell no.
It's
You know what? I would try it.
But after Valencia, we spent a nice night in the hotel, and then we headed to Barcelona in the morning. So Barcelona is a very big city. It's the main city, the Paris. But yeah, Barcelona is just very fun. It's loud. It's busy. They don't speak Spanish there. They speak Catalan, which is really hard to understand. I got into a taxi, and he said to me as thank you, he said merci beaucoup. No, he just said merci, and I responded merci beaucoup, and he's like, no, honey, that's French. I'm like, mercy's French too. Like, what do you mean? But their Catalan is a mix of Spanish and French.
So then he shouldn't have gotten mad at you because you were trying. You were trying.
Yeah, I was
like, bitch, I'm French.
You know, I was a little tipsy too, so I was just like, merci beaucoup, and he was just like, no. He just shut me down completely. I was like,
that's
hey,
hilarious.
just drop me off.
This is why I try not to. The thing is, when I go to foreign countries, I'm so bad at language that I feel nervous, like, saying gracias, because I feel like a fraud. And, like, I know a lot of people appreciate, like, me trying, but, like, I also just feel like an idiot while I'm saying it, like, so, like, that would have mortified me. Like, him laughing at me like, that would have mortified me, and that's why I don't speak when we're talking to people that don't speak English. I'm just like, Liz and Gina will handle it. I'm just gonna stand here.
It depends. Like, you know, like, if Liz is handling it and stuff, I'm just gonna talk in English. Like, I'm from America. That's my main language. I'm not fluent in Spanish. I'm not gonna pretend to be. But, like, if I'm just, like, out and about, I'm just gonna speak in whatever language that comes to me.
Yeah,
and mistakes
it's like a
are
hang
okay.
up. It's like a hang up I have. Like, I get very, even when we were in Japan, like, you guys would always like
trying.
Yeah, and I would just like stay quiet, or like I would like maybe
arigato gozaimasu.
I would be like, or I would be like really quietly like arigato, and then keep walking as fast as I could so that they didn't laugh at me. Like, that's literally how I feel. I'm so weird about foreign language.
Something I've learned about language is, like, so in school there's a heavy emphasis on, like, proper grammar, proper verb tenses and stuff. If you go out and, like, you just speak in the present tense, but you mean the past tense, like you say, like, last week I eat this or something, people still understand you.
Yeah, of course.
And they know you're trying. Like, they're not going to be like, what? They're not going to not understand you. It's just the same, like, someone who doesn't speak English first,
I feel like
you know?
I wouldn't care if I'm in a big city because, like, you get so many tourists. So it's like, obviously this bitch doesn't know what she's saying. But if I'm, like, in a smaller town, like when I was in Italy in Stigliano, oh, hell no, I'm sticking to English or Spanish because it's, like, kind of similar.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, language is weird like that, but
yeah.
I love it. I love language.
You do. You love language.
But there's a lot to do in Barcelona. We got to see the Sagrada Familia, which is, like, the biggest church, and they're still building it. They have not stopped building it, so it's so high up in the sky.
I know about that from the Cheetah Girls too.
Yes.
Sagrada Familia.
Sagrada Familia. I didn't get to go in it, but that's definitely on my bucket list because I know there's, like, beautiful stained glass windows everywhere, and, like, I just heard so many good things about the inside of it, not just the outside. Something else that I didn't get to do was I didn't get to go to Park Güell, which is the artist Gaudi is very popular in Barcelona. So he has a lot of museums and a lot of pieces around town. Park Güell, we tried to get tickets, but they were sold out months in advance. So if you're ever going to Spain, definitely book those tickets as soon as possible because they sell out pretty quickly. I was disappointed about that, but it's okay.
We'll get back there. Spain's an easy one to hit.
Yeah, definitely Barcelona I want to go because, well, I want to go to Barcelona with my dad because he's a big Barcelona fan, like soccer team.
They have, like, the authentic, like, jersey stores and stuff, too.
Yes.
Here's a fun fact. There's a street in Barcelona named after my ancestors.
Really?
Agostini.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really
Fun
cool.
fact.
Wow, we're going to have to find that.
It's like on Agostini Boulevard or
We gotta
some
steal that
shit
sign.
like that.
Souvenir.
Oh my god, no.
Get arrested.
Yeah, but I also on my bucket list, I want to see a football game there.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that because, like, growing up, my dad literally told me, if you ever support Real Madrid, I am disowning you.
Cut.
So, kind of have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely on my bucket
My
list.
sister, like, living in England, like, turned into, like, a soccer fan or a football fan, and, like, my family she'll have, like, the game on, and my family just looks at her like,
What are you doing?
we're a baseball household, what are you watching? But she's a Manchester City fan.
My dad is
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my dad is too.
Yeah. I was, like, in visiting her in Manchester, like, completely alone, and, like, was touring alone while she was at work, and she, like, sent me to the Manchester City football stadium, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I did, like, the tour of the locker rooms and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I could have lived without this.
Yeah.
That's funny. Also on my Spain bucket list, this wasn't even a thing until I went to Spain the first time and everyone was talking about it. I was like, I should go to a bullfight.
Yeah,
but
apparently they're super dangerous.
Yes, I've heard they're dangerous and, like, extremely violent, too.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it only ends when either the bull or the guy dies.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, like, you could just, like, win without murder, but no, like,
so you could, like, see someone die in front of you?
They, like, run through the streets. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, they said, like, they run through the stands even, like,
yeah.
You gotta be careful,
yeah,
like, everyone runs.
My high school Spanish teacher, Senor Ivan, or maybe it was middle school.
He
was,
had him.
Yeah, he used to talk about the bullfights. He would be like, oh my god, they're so dangerous. They're so cool, though. They're so fun. And I was like, I don't want to die.
And stuff, they said, if you ever go to a bullfight, because, like, red pisses them off. But literally the only way to win, like, the champions get off by, like, I don't even know, they take their horns as souvenirs, or, like, that's their trophy. I don't know. I would go, I guess. I would probably, like, shed a couple tears.
Like, I think I wouldn't mind the, like, pushing and shoving and
I think you would upset. So then we got a chance to go to the beaches in Barcelona, which were very nice. We took the metro, very easy to navigate on your own, even if you don't speak Spanish, because my Spanish was, like, limited to hola and donde está el baño at this point. So pretty much...
No habla español.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't even. No. So we took a metro, but we still had to walk a lot, which I wasn't expecting. In retrospect, I would have probably just taken an Uber to the shore, but it wasn't a bad walk. We did like a half an hour walk. It was just hot, and I was bothered. But the beaches were very nice, except for the fact that there are a lot of stingray on the beaches in the water. So make sure when you go to Europe that you pay attention to the flags they put out, because they're not putting out a flag just to say, like, oh, like a lifeguard's here or something. If they put out a green flag, the water's good. A yellow flag means there have been some sightings of some creatures in the ocean. Like,
oh, no.
Not the best time to go. And a red flag is, like, go at your own risk. Like, swimming not recommended. Which I didn't find out until after. So there was a red flag out, and I went swimming, and then I looked down, and I saw stingrays, and I was like, ah! And I just, like, ran back to the shore.
Was this a nude beach?
No. It was topless, I guess. But that's, like, normal in Europe.
Yeah.
People just go to the beach topless.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I had a top on. But yeah, the beach part of Barcelona has a lot of bars. It's a very, again, like a nightlife kind of city. Mm-hmm. So, even, I think we went out, it was like a Thursday night. Everyone was out. And fun fact, if you want to pregame for cheap, because we couldn't find a liquor store and we were just trying to get to the bar, we went to McDonald's and we got €1 beers for like 6 rounds, and we were like, all right, let's go to the bar. That's the only time I ever, like, really drank beer to pregame.
They sell beer at McDonald's
over
there?
Yep.
For $1?
We
say less.
Will.
Yeah.
But in my whole group on the tour bus, there was, like, a family. It was, like, you know, mom and dad and a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. And the dad sent the 8-year-old to get him a beer, and they gave it to him. And we were just, like, watching the employees. They just handed it to him. Different
culture. A lot of, like,
it was crazy.
European countries, they're, like, drinking wine at least from the time that they're kids. Like, at dinner, like, a glass of wine is, like, normal.
Yeah. It was just, like, weird. Like, he just, like, went up and ordered, and they were just like, here, whatever you want. And then, like, one day we were having dinner, and this kid, while his dad wasn't paying attention, he said, can I have champagne? And they just, like, brought it out to him. His dad was like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, very easy to get alcohol there at any age. But yeah, and then we went shopping. There are a lot of big malls. There are a lot of street vendors that do, like, art right then and there on the street. And that's always, like, a thing that I do. I just, like, buy a bunch of local artists kind of paintings or canvases, things like that. And it was just an amazing time. And I went home, and a few months later, you know, I decided to go back for a whole semester, which was a crazy, life-changing experience. And I recommend everyone to try to get out of your comfort zone and go away for a couple months. It's nice.
So what was your favorite city besides Granada?
My favorite
Did any of them
city-
even compare to Granada for you?
I think I just have such a magical idea of Granada because I lived there for 2 months too, and I really got to see the city. But I would have loved to see more of Barcelona. I was only there for 2 days. And other than that, Sevilla.
Okay.
Sevilla was like, that was another one I would have studied in. I was looking into both, but they just like didn't have a program available for me. So that's why I ended up with Granada. But yeah, no regrets at all.
That's lovely.
So it's time for our report card for Spain. If you don't know the categories, they are beauty, food, excursions, accessibility, which means how easy it is to get around on your own, and affordability. So for beauty, I'm going to have to give it a 5. For food, I'll give it a 5 too. I fucked with the food. Excursions and activities. So Spain has a whole variety of things. They have art, history, there's beaches, mountains. In Granada, the mountain range, the Sierra Nevada mountains. You could go snowboarding, but also you could just hike up them. It's a beautiful view. I would give it a 5. There's just such a variety. Go to Spain, guys. Accessibility, I will give it a 4 because I was unable to figure out how to take a bus. Still to this day, it's hard. And affordability, I'll give it a 5.
It's pretty cheap.
Yeah. A flight from New York to Madrid in the winter, it cost me less than $400, like $350 round trip.
Wow.
In the summer, I think it cost me about $600, which
That's
isn't
not
that bad
bad.
still, round trip.
Yeah.
So the final score for Spain as a whole is 4.8.
Woo.
This is actually an increase from your Just Granada episode. With
Is
your
it?
roommates. Your roommates, I think that was a 4.6.
6.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting how that works.
Yeah. So
I love Spain.
4.8 for Spain, 4.6 for Granada.
Yeah, and it's also in a good location. You could go to other countries. Hop around if you go to Spain.
Yeah. We'll also do as we get deeper into these and we finish covering overviews of each country, we'll start to do individual cities that we've been to and give those report cards and see how that compares to the actual report card of the overall city.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned for that because I think that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're thinking whether or not to go to a city, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll also, we're going to create itineraries that we'll post on our website. You could buy whichever one you want, depending on your your travel style, and we'll list out all the cities that you would like if you liked a certain type of
And how to get there and rough estimates of price and things like that. You can't book through us, but this will kind of be like a guide to help you guys decide where you want to book.
Yeah. And also send us a message if you want more information or if you want a more personalized one.
Yeah, perfect.
Happy to help.
All right, so thank you guys so much for coming and listening to us. Make sure you check out our YouTube to watch videos and pictures along with what we're talking about. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at whereverlifetakes us_. And thank you guys for always supporting us.
Thanks
Thanks,
so
guys.
much.
Have a good night.
Bye.